I love the vibes of this place. We stay at the Boardwalk so much because this is our primary home resort as a DVC member. But we have always struggled to find food here. It's like the one downfall of this resort. This time we had a lot more luck finding things, especially gluten and dairy free. So let's go see. The Boardwalk Villas is our primary Disney Vacation Club resort, and we've shown you that room tour before. But the surrounding resorts are also super close, which is helpful when you're looking for a bite to eat. So we're going to primarily explore the Boardwalk, but also take quick visits to the Beach Club, Yacht Club, and the Swan and Dolphin Resort. We're going to show you a range of quick grab-and-go meals as well as sit-down options, starting with Trattoria al Forno breakfast. Remember, we are gluten-free, dairy-free pescatarians, and I have a severe soy sensitivity, so there are some foods that we'll be working to avoid. But we'll show you all the delicious options as we track down which places are happy to accommodate special diets. Trattoria al Forno is definitely one of those, with a great allergy menu to use as a starting point. Almond milk. Nora, what you think?
Nora, look at us.
Screams on me. The kids had filling, well-made kid favorites, but the adult options were creative with developed flavors like the avocado toast with red pepper hummus or the 2 eggs and breakfast potatoes, where we asked for the Al Forno spiced tomato sauce on the side, and it was incredible. Plus, there's always allergen Mickey waffles. What a fantastic start to our trip. I'm also going to be showing some footage from Nick staying at the Swan and Dolphin on a business trip recently when he took advantage of all the Boardwalk area resorts and their dining locations, like this flying fish dinner.
Now, I've never actually stayed at the Swan and Dolphin before. I've probably stayed at Walt Disney World close to 100 times in my life, but I've never stayed really at non-Disney properties. That said, one of the great benefits about the Swan and the Dolphin are the location. They're really close to both Epcot and Hollywood Studios, walking distance to both, and they're also walking distance to the Yacht Club, Beach Club, and Boardwalk. So while I could end up eating at a lot of the restaurants at the Swan and Dolphin, and they have some decent ones, I still like to get my Disney fix by going to the restaurants over at the Yacht, Beach, Boardwalk, and sometimes even inside the park, because you can walk into the back of Epcot pretty quickly and go to the World Showcase restaurants too. The allergen menu, when you first look at it, makes you feel like you don't have too many options. And then you basically just say, can you do this with these restrictions? And they're like, oh yeah, sure, that's no problem. So take that allergen menu when you're at a signature restaurant like this one with a grain of salt, a really fine sea salt. I have been eating this potato crusted sea bass for years. It's just so nice to be able to actually, knowing that there's so many elements of it that actually don't work in its traditional recipe, but they figured out a way to make it work for me, so I'm grateful. Just to say, my dinner last night was really great at Flying Fish. The accommodations that they made were really good. That potato crusted sea bass, which is normally done on like melted leeks, which have a whole lot of dairy in them, they replaced it with just some simply done asparagus with like olive oil and sea salt. I have to say, the fish was great. The asparagus was like the star of that plate, to be honest. The flavor coming off of them was just really amazing.
When Nick and I first came to the Boardwalk together, it was always great because we could have all these date nights. The whole Boardwalk was lined with really lovely restaurants, great sit-down dining, but it's the quick grab-and-go options that are always a little bit of a struggle. The because there's not a traditional quick serve option at this resort. But you can find things between Carousel Coffee and the BoardWalk Deli. They can really fill in the gaps, and they have a range of options that we're going to show you today. It's really the quick serve options where the Boardwalk has been criticized at times for lacking, and often that's because of our dietary restrictions. The corn dogs don't work because we're pescatarian, and I've heard that the pizza window has gluten-free crust and vegan cheese. We just haven't been brave enough to try that yet. The ice cream shop, which used to have great dairy-free options when it was Ample Hills at this location, now only has soy-based non-dairy items, and unfortunately soy makes me super sick, so we don't go here. But the BoardWalk Deli, on the other hand, has been really helpful for us. This location had previously been the BoardWalk Bakery that had very few gluten-free items, but the sandwiches made to order here gave us some good flexibility. We went with the whole family for a quick breakfast before heading over to the park that will not be named for a wizarding day. We have been wanting to try the BoardWalk Deli for a while, and today's the day. Today we tried the breakfast, and we ordered with a manager since we needed to order for an allergy, and we are waiting to see how it comes out, but communication was a little rough. As pescatarians, we were really hoping we could get an egg sandwich with tomato or smoked salmon, or maybe both. They did okay when we said tomato, but when I said egg and smoked salmon, she was like, bacon, sausage? And so it's a little frustrating when they're willing to give you all the pork products in the world, but for some reason don't want to serve you the fish option they've got. Why not? I'll buy it. I'll pay for it.
Mommy.
She snuck in some salmon. She loves us. What you doing over there?
Well, I was gonna get up, but should I wait for you or should I get up?
Nick also had lunch at the BoardWalk Deli on his business trip. He was able to check out their plant-based sandwich.
So it's worth saying I did try to place the mobile order ahead of time, but I've had some difficulties with one of my credit cards. And so I knew that had I placed it ahead of time, it would have been a lot quicker. But the one tricky thing about placing mobile orders with dietary restrictions is the menu is perfectly set up to deal with one dietary restriction, but the minute you have more than one, the menu doesn't really cover it. So you kind of almost always have to have the discussion, even if you feel pretty confident about whatever the ingredients are that are going to be in what you're selecting. Sometimes it's still better to go and have the conversation. That was the first time that I went to the deli version of it, but I knew that there was a really awesome veggie sandwich there. And so I told them that I needed the veggie sandwich with some allergen restrictions, and they called over a manager who took my order, and took a couple extra minutes, but they said they needed to get some primary ingredients from the back, which is great because then I know that there's not any concerns of cross-contamination. So I got the veggie muffalata sandwich, which normally comes on focaccia, which sounds lovely, but not to be. They do have some allergen-friendly bread, so they swapped that out. It comes with lots of different veggies and some vegan cheese and some sauce as well. I got a side order of boat. More boat. I got a side order of coleslaw to go with that and some pickles in honor of Axon. Now I'm headed back to my my conference call. But soup to nuts, that whole process from leaving the room when I first checked in, getting all the way over to the boardwalk, ordering my sandwich with allergen restrictions, and getting all the way back took 30 minutes, clock it, and I have 10 minutes to inhale a sandwich before my conference call. So the official results of the crunchy veggie muffalata on allergen-friendly bread and the coleslaw and the pickle is the sandwich was fine. I think it definitely loses something not being on the focaccia. So it was okay. The pickle was great and massive. So if you ever need a snack around the boardwalk, it like that pickle is almost in and of itself a meal. But the star of the show is the coleslaw. There you go.
Then there's the quick grab-and-go coffee spot in the lobby, Carousel Coffee. It's pretty simple pastries and Joffrey's coffee, but there were quite a few fruit options as well, so if you need to detox from all those Mickey-shaped snacks, stop by for a fruit cup or a banana.
I'm going to go to Epcot and play for a little bit.
Believe it or not, sometimes the fastest option, if you have a valid park ticket that day, is to pop into Epcot and grab a quick bite in World Showcase.
I love coming into International Gateway because the security line is super easy, the ticket line is super easy, and you're literally plopped down right in the middle of World Showcase, which means if you need to jump in quickly just to get lunch in the middle of the day, you literally can, in 10 minutes walk from your hotel, be in France. But I'm actually not headed to France or Morocco or Japan. I'm headed to the American Adventure, where Regal Eagle is.
And while you're in the park, you may as well grab a quick ride or two. You're also extremely close to the Beach Club and the Yacht Club with some other options. Last time we were here, we went to Cape May Cafe for breakfast. But there's also just the Beach Club Marketplace. So that is more of a traditional quick service. You can get some of those Mickey waffles and grab and go things, those allergen cupcakes that we would traditionally look for at a quick serve restaurant. While on his business trip, Nick went to Ale and Compass at Disney's Yacht Club Resort for breakfast.
I gotta say, the Ale and Compass breakfast is like the best of both worlds. You're able to get that Disney buffet fix, but it's casual, it's easy, it's quick, not as much hoopla, definitely not as much expense as you'll find at other buffets. It's not as big by any stretch of the imagination, but they take total care of guests with allergen restrictions. So yes, I technically ordered the buffet and I did grab some fruit over there, but they went and they got me a vanilla glazed donut, they got me a chocolate muffin, they got me a whole order of allergen waffles, and I got a side of scrambled eggs. If you're staying in this area and you're looking for just a really awesome breakfast, that is a great recommendation.
We've also stayed a few times at the BoardWalk Inn, even those cutesy little cottages for honeymooning couples. And when you stay suite level, you get access to the concierge lounge called the Innkeeper's Club. There are so many food options here that fit most any dietary restriction, so that solved all of our food dilemmas. You may want to check out our full review here to see if it's a good option for you. The BoardWalk Resort family pool, known as the Luna Park Pool, has a water slide.
Let's go! Let's go!
And, as most pool locations do, there's a food and drink stand called Leaping Horse Libations. And I only ordered some drinks there while the kids played, but they had some food options like sandwiches and snacks and at least one salad that looked like they may be able to accommodate our diet. But we were already well fed, so I didn't have the allergen conversation that day. While you don't really get to eat at these locations, I should mention that the BoardWalk has lovely shops and some really festive entertainment venues. There's the magician-themed Abracadabra Bar, the dance hall, which I have yet to go to, and Jelly Rolls, a dueling piano bar that was the highlight of my last birthday. I love the ambiance of this resort so much. It cannot be beat. There are also some late night food options though. The most famous around the boardwalk is probably Beaches and Cream, but Nick had a lovely late night at Yachtsman Steakhouse at the Yacht Club on his business trip. I mean, just look at this delicious food. Because Disney World is always changing, there are some new things in the works, like the Cake Bake Shop Bakery. Probably not much for us that's gluten-free, but we will check it out. And whatever will replace Big River Grill and Brewing Works. We'll be sure to report back whenever that opens. If you choose to make the boardwalk your home during your next Disney World vacation, we hope this helps you fuel up to hit the parks, ready to have a magical time. Do you have a Disney location where you find it hard to locate good food options? We're up to the challenge, so let us know in the comments and we'll try to solve your Disney World dilemmas. Meanwhile, subscribe to come with us for more fantastic meals in Orlando and beyond.
Look at this pickle. Amazing. Oh, that cloud, it looks like a whale.
We love having you join us for dinner, and it truly means the world to have you in our community. Thanks so much for watching, travelers.